All right, good morning. Welcome into the People Show, the Chase and Big Joe Show on this Therapy Monday for you guys. Chase McCabe is on. He got certified on LinkedIn for cloud storage management, so he's in New York getting his award. So for the next 2 hours, it's myself and the illustrious Dr. Crane.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I mean, we're reacting to everything today, Joe. It is absolutely pandemonium, in my opinion. The Titans are falling just deep off of a ledge. This is bad.
Oh, it is so bad that you have made Brian Callahan curse. That's what you've done. You've made Brian Callahan now use bad language, and I'm not going to stand for that. No, I'm actually glad I saw Brian Callahan cuss yesterday because I would have launched Will Levis. I'd have flipped him into the Cumberland River after I saw that. We got a lot of reaction. We're going to have so much fun today. We're going to get through this together because, as Jimmy Buffett said, if we were all so crazy, we'd all go insane. So we're going to have fun. We have a good time. 9 to 11 today, 615-737-1025. We want your reaction, your comments. We got all kind of questions for you to weigh in on today. First of all, Dr. Crane, how was your weekend?
It was really good. I got to make some pancakes on the Blackstone and pretty pumped about it, actually. So
is there the black? So what is that? I'm ignorant.
It's that griddle. It's that the griddle you put to a propane,
Griddle,
yeah.
Like the John Denver song.
Yeah, like cakes on a griddle. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's been my little weekend thing. I'll go outside probably about 5 o'clock in the morning and just make some pancakes. I don't know. I just been having a craving for it lately.
Please tell me you're out there in just your underwear.
I'm out there in shorts and a hoodie, and and nobody's up, so you see the dew on the grass. You're like, gosh, this is great.
A little coffee or no? You don't drink coffee. Do you?
I do drink coffee. I've been cutting back on it though, so not a lot of black coffee in the diet lately.
Okay, all right, I understand that. Well,
but that's the only thing keeping me sane from all this football madness.
All right, so we got a lot to get into Titans wise today, but first of all, I've got a bone to pick with you.
Okay,
How can your football team that you love, Mississippi State, let a MAC team come into the SEC and not just beat them, but Toledo punished Mississippi State?
They put
Get off your chest.
Yeah, I'm pretty upset about it. Mississippi State runs a 3-3-5 defense, which makes no sense to me. I think it's the worst defense in football, especially when you're going up against a MAC team that puts you to shame. I think the Blake Shapen guy out of Baylor, I saw some promise out of him the first week against Eastern Kentucky, but again, Eastern Kentucky.
Watch your mouth.
I know, a great football team there, but at the same time, quarterbacks like that should be able to, adjust to that.
Right.
Now against Toledo, goodness gracious, they look like another MAC team or a team from the Mountain West. Mississippi State looked awful this past weekend, and I got 4 or 5 text messages saying, hey, what's going on with the Bulldogs? I'm like, you know what? I don't know. Maybe that's why Vegas had them at 3.5 wins this year. I don't know. I thought they would at least get 6, maybe 7. But no, I'm absolutely wrong in my assumption. And it's just another unfortunate loss for a terrible game.
Well, I thought it was a typo when I saw the score.
I thought so too. I thought it was like a 14-17. No, 41-17.
I'm sorry, man. All right, for our Titans fans out there today, here we go. We're going to get into this big time this morning. Great show Paul and Joe had this morning. A lot of reaction. You guys are great. So we're going to get to this today. Games this year, and after seeing 9 last year, are you buying or selling Will Levis? And I don't want just I'm buying. I got to know why. You can call us. Again, we love the interaction, buying or selling. All right, if we complain, they look terrible, and I get all that. So if you're the Titans GM, what's the first move you make outside your quarterback? What do you do? What's the first thing you do if you're the Titans GM? If you are the Titans GM today, what are you doing to fix this football team? Hey, we're armchair quarterbacks. We got all the answers in the world. I want to know what you're doing today to fix this. Plus, we know you're upset and you're emotional, and we get all this. I understand. We want your reaction with a yacht rock song. That's what we want. We want your reaction with a yacht rock song today. We'll play them throughout the show, but that's what we're doing today. We want your reaction, what's going on. And there's a lot to get into today with this football team. We'll talk a little college football later on because Vandy, talking to Chase on Saturday, he's like, how can Vandy do this to me? If you lose on a Vandy bet, that is on you. Vanderbilt has broken hearts for 40, 50 years. That's on you. That loss is also unacceptable for the Vanderbilt Commodores.
They needed that. They needed that to at least be, I wouldn't say bowl eligible, but that's a game they needed to go 4-0 in out-of-conference games. And now that they can't do that, Yeah, it's going to be a lot tougher for them to make some sort of bowl game because now instead of winning 2 games in the SEC, you got to win 3. Now, are you going to be able to beat South Carolina, who ended up beating LSU? Oh, no, LSU ended up pulling out of that game as well. But that was a close game. So you have a tough South Carolina team. Auburn, you really don't know what Auburn has, to be fair. I mean, that's a team that's in shambles, so maybe you get a win out of that. And then Kentucky. Kentucky held in pretty tight against Georgia this past weekend. So then there's another tough game there on the schedule. So, I mean, and now that Quinn Ewers, you don't know what's going on with him with Texas. I doubt that they beat Texas, but, I mean, this is a tough schedule from here on out for Vanderbilt.
It is. It is. Speaking of Quinn Ewers, Dylan on the text line says, I say we let Will Levis play until the end of the season. That way we can draft Arch Manning. Baby, let's go. Look, Dylan, I love your love for Arch Manning, but he did that against, was it Texas San Antonio?
Yeah, UTSA.
I want to see that against Tennessee and Knoxville. I want to see that against Georgia and Athens. Hell, I want to see that even against, I don't know, A&M and College Station. So I get it, but I think he's got another year left. He redshirted. He played a little bit last year, so he's got another year left there as well. Austin says he's buying Will's Levi's. So remember the autocorrect here with the apostrophe between the I and the S. I don't know if you're buying Will Levi's, or you're buying Will Levis. I don't know. So make sure.
I stopped buying the Husky jeans a while back. I'm not buying those anymore.
I do like on Sunday I know Brian Callahan spoke after the game and he was tempered. Why are you not mad? I mean, is that not your personality? If that's not your personality, I'm fine with it. But I saw a little bit of it when you exploded at Will Levis for that absolutely boneheaded flip. When you're like, I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to do that again. Then you do it again. Well, my son did that as young. He used to I'd give him milk. He used to take it and pour it in the sink when he was 3. I said, don't do it again. Pour it in the sink. Don't do it again. Pour it. What did I stop doing? I stopped giving him milk like that. All right. So Will Levis is not going to change his stripes. I know all the shows across the city will be reacting to this today, but that's what we're going to have to do is get through this together.
Yeah, you're right. And I mentioned this to PK and Joe in between one of their segments when I got here this morning. Back in, I think, training camp or OTAs or whatever it was, Will Levis was, talking to the media and somebody asked him about journaling or something he's doing in the offseason that's kind of helping him at bay. And I was like, I wonder if he's still doing the journaling because I know friends of mine that journal on a regular basis and their mental headspace is great. Obviously, after these 2 games, Will Levis's mental headspace is probably not great.
Right.
So you don't know if the guy has neglected his journaling or if he's talking to a therapist. I don't know, but it's bad.
But you're 25 years old.
Yeah, you got to know. You got to have your head on your shoulders, and if you don't, you're not fit for it.
Austin said that he is buying Will Levis. I want to know why you're buying. I'm just curious because right now I'm putting him on layaway. I'm not sure if I'm buying or selling him.
I said this on the weekend show this past Saturday, Joe. I said, Will Levis, you're going to see signs of progression. You're going to see signs of regression. And the Titans are going to be stuck in the mucky middle with Will Levis because they're going to see enough improvement out of him this season that they're going to be stuck with him to sign him to a longer-term deal because they're not in a position to get a quarterback in the draft. They don't have the draft capital to go get a quarterback. They can't trade up to some regard, or maybe they could. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Our text line, 615-737-1025. Skyler says, I'm selling on Levis. We just need a game manager quarterback, not a hero. I agree. I could argue Levis's touchdowns passed to Ridley yesterday and Chig last week were lucky catches by the receivers. I like Levis, but he's too unpredictable. That's a great way, Skyler. Thank you for that. 615-737-1025. Let us know your thoughts and opinions on this. Also, your reaction, your emotion to a Yacht Rock song. If you don't know what Yacht Rock is, look it up and you've learned something today. Yacht Rock will get us through all this together that we're going through. That's what's happening right now. So let us know what's happening. You guys, they're flying in now. You guys are wonderful. Also, all right, Dr. Crane, you're the GM for a day.
All right.
Today, what do you do?
I am making some offensive line moves in some regard. If it's free agency, if it's whatever, you got to do something about this offensive line. I mean,
what side? All of it or what?
I'm thinking the right side first of all, but I mean, kind of all of it in a roundabout way. You definitely have to look at the right side because if you look, I don't want to play devil's advocate here, but look at Malik Willis. Got his first win as a starting quarterback this past weekend, and look at the offensive line that he was behind. He actually had time to think about throwing something. Obviously, it was 122 yards passing, but still, he was able to use his feet. Create chances for Green Bay. I mean, that's exactly what you want in a football team. You want to be able to create chances and win football games. The Titans are creating chances, but not winning football games because of the decisions of their quarterback.
Yes. Gator Tim says it's time for a cool change. And that's ownership. That's a Yacht Rock song. Thank you so much for that right there. Let's see, 2758. I'm holding on Will Levis because investment has already been made. Management coaches should make the team watch the entire Super Bowl season from the Titans, and Levis should watch hours of the Tom Brady throwing in the dirt and living to play another series. That's a great point. 2758. Thank you for that, because if you saw Aaron Rodgers yesterday, when they snap the ball and they blow the whistle immediately, he immediately throws the ball to the ground, just like to the ground immediately. I know he got a intentional grounding call, and he was mad at himself for that. But it's so Peyton Manning was the absolute best about throwing the football on the ground when pressure was coming, getting somewhere like that. He's got to learn. I'm not sure you learn during the regular season if you're ever going to learn if you're a Will Levis. I am not sure about that, so we'll have to see. 615-737-1025. I'm trying to keep up with all these that are coming through. Austin says, I think he just got the mindset that he has to do everything in one play. He will be better. He's not getting out of that mindset. That play yesterday, the flip back, was awful. In fact, I think it's just as bad as the flip six last week, because he cost him points. And he gave him points last week. He cost him points this week. It's still a dumb move. 1483 says, the Yacht Rock song about people saying the Titans would make the playoffs this past summer. The Doobie Brothers, what a fool believes. Yeah, Michael McDonald's going to help us get through the show today. Thank you, 1483, about that. Marlon from Murfreesboro says, I'm selling on Levis too much of wanting to be a hero. And I get you're trying to make things happen, but you can't. You can't do that. You can't make those same mistakes over and over and over again. And there were times in the game yesterday where Will Levis wanted to take the ball down and take off running, but he knew better. He stood in the pocket and took some sacks. So I think there's a lot going on in that young man's head right now that's not good for this football team. Jason in Dover, I'm putting Will Levis on layaway until I see a better offensive line. Yeah, that was pretty bad on the right side yesterday. They're not playing good. And, it was hyped up by having the world's best almighty offensive line coach, Bill Callahan, being here. Sometimes you just can't make things work. And so I'm not sure what the thing is, but after 2 games, it's bad. Justin in Greenbrier, I am sailing Christopher Cross on Levis. I just can't with this guy. He's making plays that middle and high schoolers are not making. I agree on that. All right, we're going to continue your reaction to 11 o'clock today. Let us know, 615-737-1025. We even talked about the block punt, and we got Brett Kern, former Titans pitcher, joined us at 9:30. He's got to be livid,
irate,
because this should not happen. I saw some stat that they're the first team to have punts blocked back-to-back in years.
I think like 2002?
Something maybe like that. I will have to look it up and see, but it's not like it happens every week. And it's just, that is absolutely unacceptable. And now you got to think Ryan Stonehouse, who the Tennessean dubbed the greatest punter of all time last week or 2 weeks ago, you got to wonder if he's gun shy, right? He came off the sidelines yesterday holding up 6 fingers. And he kept holding up 6 fingers. Was that because they rushed 6, or because that's a sign for fire your special teams people? I don't know.
Or just help.
But he kept holding up 6. I don't know. It was like, what is that? And I went back. I think it's because they only rushed 6 guys. If that's the case, they rush 6 guys, get the punt blocked, you're fired. Yeah. You're done. All right, man, I'm sweating like a pig this morning. I'm not a big Titans fan. I want to see him do well. All right. All right, that's it. 615-737-1025. Let us know what you think. A few questions. You're the GM. What do you do besides a quarterback? Are you buying or selling on Will Levis? And your reaction with a Yacht Rock song. Let us know what your reaction is with the Yacht Rock song. This is the Chase and Big Show, Big Joe Show, brought to you by Omni National Hotel right here, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Oh, yeah. Titans fans, soak this in. Old days, baby. We're taking your reaction with Yacht Rock songs. Let this one kind of build inside of you. Yeah, old days. Old days. You know, we get the old days when we see Derek Mason walking here at 10:45, and you remember, those teams in 99 and 2000 and 02 and 03. Pretty good. Pretty good. So there's, and since then there's been some up and downs. The 08 season, they started out 10-0 and then got beat by Derek Mason, damn you, and the Ravens in the playoffs in 2008. It's funny. We'll go back. I tell Dirk this all the time. In the playoffs, Ravens come in 2008, and, it's a hype game. Titans are playing good. They're 13-3. They're 2 wins away of going to Tampa to the Super Bowl, and Ravens are coming in. They just played on the road, the Dolphins. And like early on in the game, Joe Flacco throws this rainbow perfect pass in the corner of the end zone. And we're on the press box. We're thinking, don't let it be Derek Mason. Don't let it be Derek Mason. Next thing you know, this number 85 pops up and starts doing this Michael Jackson shimmy down the end zone. We're like, damn it, it's Derek Mason. And so they went. But anyway, we're taking a reaction today. Thanks for walking down memory lane with me right there. Your reaction with Yacht Rock songs on our text line 615-737-1025. Or Will Levis, or you're buying or you're selling. And Lenny on the text line says, I'm buying Will Levis. They did not give up on Brett Favre. Good point, because Brett Favre drove Mike Holmgren crazy in 1993. Drove him crazy. They did not give up on Peyton Manning. Of course they're not giving Peyton Manning. They let him go. The Colts in 98 were awful. But in 99, they were good. They went from 3-13 to 13-3 in 99 with Manning. Of course, remember his rookie year, the most interceptions. I know Will Levis is now in his 11th game, but my goodness. He hasn't even played a full season. Tremendous upside on that. Gary from Clarksville says, stand pat on everything. We haven't seen enough. Now, Gary, they talk about you in the Bible. His name is Job, and you got the patience of Job. I'm not sure, Dr. Crane, Titans fans, the large majority, have patience anymore.
Now, I mean, we're in a microwave society, Joe. Everybody wants the win now mentality. And, the additions you made this past offseason, they don't tell me that, you're waiting on Will Levis. It's like, we want to know what you have in Will Levis now.
Right.
So that's the microwave mentality that the Titans have. They don't want to wait on Will Levis to develop anymore. They want to know if he is it or not. And right now, for me, he's not.
Yeah.
And let me just tell you this stat, Joe, that we talked about at the special teams before we went to break.
Yep.
According to Toronto Davenport, thanks for tweeting this out, TD, Titans are the first team to have their own punt block, interception, and fumble loss in consecutive games since the 2002 Chargers. The Chargers went 1-1. The Titans are 0-2. ESPN stats and info.
Say that again. They're the first team that's had
their own punt blocked, interception, and fumble lost in consecutive games since the 2002 San Diego Chargers.
Holy cow. That's all. Remember who the quarterback was of the Chargers team in 02? You're too young.
Hang on. Billy Volek?
Drew Brees.
That's
right.
Then Billy Volek backed him up, right?
He later on, yes.
Okay.
No, he did not. Because Brees went to the Saints and Volek went after Volek left in the 06 season when him and Fisher couldn't get along, went to San Diego, backed up Phillip Rivers. Brees went to New Orleans, was going to go to Miami, but his shoulder didn't heal right. And Nick Saban says, I don't want a quarterback with an injured shoulder. I'll take Dante Culpepper. If you go back and look at it, I'm sorry we're getting sidetracked just a tad bit, but Dr. Crane, this is history. Had Nick Saban taken Drew Brees, there's a likely chance Nick Saban doesn't leave Miami for Alabama. And if that doesn't happen, Alabama is not Alabama like we know it is right now. So you go back, there's all these dominoes that go down with football, and that Saban one goes back to Drew Brees and goes back to that 02 Chargers team right there as well. Okay. All right. Thanks. Look, I'm full of something. It's useless NFL knowledge. Herb from McEwen. I like the name Herb. It just, I don't know. It just old school Herb, right?
Herb.
I mean, you say, oh, he's my friend Herb. He's been through it, right? The name Herb, you've been through it.
Yeah.
And Herb is the perfect detective name. Like, damn it, Herb. When the chief yells at him to get in the office.
Where are the donuts, Herb?
Sorry, Herb from McEwen. I'm thinking he needs to eat more mayonnaise. Can we convert him to an outside linebacker? He's tough as nails. I mean, I don't put him at safety or something, right? 5103, bring on Christmas time. We need Mason Rudolph. So would that be? I mean, are you ready to see Rudolph? I don't know. I mean, I don't think I am. By the way, I can't keep up with all these texts. You guys are fantastic.
I don't know, Joe. That's a good point. I think it is. I don't want to be too premature saying this, but I think it'd be good for Will Levis's mental headspace along with his development to just see somebody that's actually won a couple football games in the NFL, like start at quarterback.
But if you put Rudolph in now, Levis is done. Mentally, he's done.
Well, that's
so what do you do now? And also, by the way, we'll talk about this later in the week. Malik Willis is coming here to town. If he's starting with the Packers, do not play a damn tribute video to him. He's in town to whip your ass. Do not play a tribute video to Malik Willis.
They might.
Don't do that. I hate it. He's in town to beat you. Don't do it.
If they do, Joe, Malik Willis is going to go out there and probably throw 160 yards, rush for 40 yards, and throw maybe a touchdown.
Don't do it. 615-737-1025. We're your therapy today. Hell, I need therapy, Dr. Crane. 8492 says, Levis is what gives football players a bad name. He's a meathead. All right. Hey, it's frill, whatever you send in here. 8121 says, let's see where he is. Awesome. Was that last week or today? I don't know. 8121. Yeah, it's today. Rogers Clinic Mayo Levis. Rogers Clinic Mayo. Okay. All right. Herb gave me a thumbs up. So thank you, Herb, on all this. Let's see about it. Tommy says, I'm so disgusted we had a lead at half and I cut the crap off and watched my NASCAR. It's balls in NASCAR from here on out. Titans are an embarrassment. I would say they're an embarrassment. They need 0247 Dr. Crane says, technically, Stonehouse has had 3 punts blocked in 3 consecutive games. Nickname for the line, the Sieve, S-I-E-V-E. Did I say that wrong or am I an idiot? I'm an idiot, but I'm sure I said that wrong. Sieve, S-I-E-V-E.
I didn't even hear you say that.
Are we getting fired for that word? I don't even know what that word is.
I didn't even hear you say that.
I don't even know what the word is.
I'm right there with you.
Sieve, I don't know.
Joe, all I know is that if I eat a hamburger and cheeseburger, I'm okay. Like, I don't know what that word means.
Harold Milton Henry says, Sailing is the only yacht rock song there is out there. For the next 5 years, Titan Sons will be reminiscing about the late 90s and early 2000s. Well, yeah, because they were winning games. And 19 was pretty good. That was not a bad. 17 was an underrated team. They go on the road and beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, knock Travis Kelce out of the game. Alex Smith knocked him out. I mean, not knocked him out, but kind of paved the way for Patrick Mahomes to come in after that. And they go on. They were up 2 touchdowns on the Patriots in the playoffs, but then Malarkey and John Robinson can't get along, and he goes off at a press conference. It's just all this drama with this football team. It's never ending. 2312 says, my issue with Levis is when watching him, I feel never confident when the ball's in his hands. I want him to do good, and I think he's got potential. I think the pressures begin to overcome his natural talent without changes to his playing style. He is done. 2312. That's a concern I got watching him in the pocket yesterday about, I'm going to run. No, I'm going to sit here. And then he got really nervous, like when your dog is eating your hamburger and you're yelling at him and he's like, I don't know whether to run or sit there and you're shaking. That's what he was yesterday. So who knows, man? There's a lot to see with this football team. Fact is, they're 0-2, and Green Bay's coming in here, and you got to get a win. And you got a quarterback that you let go is going to come in here and try to beat you on Sunday. So the one thing you don't want after 2 weeks in the football season are more questions than answers. All right? Do you got all these questions? I don't know. That's why I threw it to the people today, Dr. Crane.
To the people we go.
It is. All right, we'll take a break. Continue on our text line, 615-737-1025. You guys are fantastic, and it's just loaded up on our text line today. Thank you for that. Coming up next, Brett Kern, former Titans punter, will join us. He's got some things to say about Ryan Stonehouse and what's going on there, because that is not good, and just adds to the fact of why this team is 0-2. This is the People Show, the Chase and Big Joe Show, brought to you by our good friends at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Right here, 102.5, 106.3 of The Game. all together.
She rises to her apology. Anybody else would surely know.
We're getting to this together.
He's watching her go.
Your reaction with Yacht Rock songs to the Titans. This might be number one. We keep coming back. We keep coming back to this football team that somehow every Sunday seems to rip our heart out and new in different ways. Are we ready with our main man? All right,
Absolutely.
let's welcome in every Monday a guy that gives us great insights, former Titans punter Brett Kern. Brett, good morning to you. And I got to just know your immediate reaction when you saw that punt block yesterday.
I thought you wanted to talk about my alma mater, Toledo Rockets, going down and dismantling the Bulldogs in Starkville, that I was able to attend on the sidelines and enjoy every moment of that victory. But side note, that was tough. I think probably the hardest part in it was that, first of all, the Jets only had 10 guys on the field, which is not great. And then they were moving guys around a lot. They're trying to make mismatches with numbers. They're trying to get guys saying, hey, this is my 4. All of a sudden he rolls over to the other side. Well, now my 4 went over there. Do I have the 3? So they were doing a lot of that even before that block punt. But they were clearly set up for a return. When Stonehouse is out there flipping the field every time, you have a choice to make. Do I either come after this and maybe give up the return, or do I set up a return and try to get, 10, 20 yards on a 60-yard punt, right? So, but in this case, this was clearly set up to, hey, we're going to get a return. And they sent 5 guys were in the box. And I think Stonehouse was throwing up the 6 because really it was a 6-man box, but only 5 of them you could say were countable. Right? The PP's job is to count, hey, 6-man, maybe even 5-man. And there's specific calls for those number of guys in the box, right? So there was 6 guys in the box. He probably only counted 5 because really only 5 were at the line of scrimmage. The 6th guy was 10, 15 yards back to get MDM, the most dangerous, right? Probably the gunner coming in on a left punt, right? Okay. So that was his job. So you have 5 guys. 4 of them were holding up. 4. There was 1 guy that rushed, Charles, and when you're thinking as a punt defense, like you're on the punt team, you see that they're in a return. You can tell when a team's rushing. You can tell when a team is holding up, right? Hey, we want to return. We're going to hold up. So immediately, some of these guys are probably thinking, especially the young guys, all right, they're going to in a return. Stonehouse can, maybe take his time. Like they're not going to rush. I'm cool. So of course, Chestnut, he doesn't protect the inside. That's the first thing you're supposed to do, protect inside out. He takes a step out. Charles sees that. Hey, you know what? I'm going to go up and under. And he's 6'3", 6'4" receiver. Great technique, blocks the punt. It was an up and under. And it was literally a single man rush. 1 guy to rush and he blocked it. And it's just, and I've been there before. I had 2 punts blocked in 1 game in the preseason on an up and under both times on that right wing. Back-to-back punts in the 4th quarter. So I know how that feels like, and it's a very helpless feeling because Stonehouse is back there thinking, I just got this ball off in 2 seconds. What do you want me to do? Right. And it was just, it was a bad play. So.
Yeah. And I see that and I'm thinking, all right, everybody's like, oh, fire this person, fire that person. I mean, that's as random of a punt block as you can get. I'm guessing, right?
You'll probably have 7 or 8 of those throughout the year, the whole season, just sprinkled throughout the NFL, where a team, they look like, hey, we're gonna get you into a snooze, a position where, hey, you kind of back off. We're gonna return this punt. You only got 6 men in the box, and so the young guys are probably thinking, well, great, I have to go out and cover a 60-yard punt, and the next thing you know, they sacrifice the protection first because they're thinking about covering, right, and so. That'll happen, like I said, 7, 8 times throughout the year where teams are just kind of lulled to sleep and you get a good guy that can rush the outside and he has a really good up and under move like that. And the next thing you know, it's a block punt and, changes the momentum of the game.
All right, we're talking to former Titans punter, Brett Kern. All right, so Ryan Stonehouse now, Brett, the last 3 games, he's had a punt blocked mentally, and you've been there hundreds and hundreds of times. Mentally, when he goes out there for his I know he punted more on Sunday, but now is at the back of his mind like, oh God, is this going to get blocked? Does that happen? Can it happen? I know I'd be thinking about that.
Absolutely. I mean, it's got to be in the back of his head. And I noticed, when he went back out there, he kind of changed his steps up and he got a lot quicker, which is unfortunate because now you're changing up his technique. He has such a strong leg that, you could probably handcuff his legs together and he'll still boot at 70 yards, right? So he'll find a way. But he just, he had to shorten down his steps. I think he only did 2 steps instead of like a 2.5 with the jab. And he still crushed it, but it's there. I mean, I remember, I know how he feels. I texted him. I said, dude, when you play, the more seasons you tack on, the more you're going to go through. It seems like there's something every year that you kind of have to grind through mentally. And, it could be block punts. I've been through that before. I mean, like I said, I think last week, we got one house at Miami week 4, come back to Houston, house one again, back-to-back weeks. That can get in your head, where you feel like you're back there and every punt has to be perfect so that they can't return it. I think I remember in Seattle, it was like 2012 or 2013 punt into the sun. And, the snap right at my knee, I took a step forward and boom, hits right off my knee. And I try to pick it up, throw it off. Well, then of course, the ball just slipped through my hands. It hits off my knee. Right. And, for the next 4 or 5 weeks, I'm back there thinking, don't drop it. Don't drop it. Don't drop it. Like not great thoughts
right.
that you have before you go out to punt. But there's little things, that just, they can kind of get you mentally. But at least, seeing Stonehouse respond, and he's a tough kid mentally, like to be able to come back from his injury, to still be booming it, for him to go out there and, kind of shorten up his steps and get it off quicker and still be able to boom it. I think he might have to do that going forward for, the next couple of weeks until they get this protection shored up.
We're talking to former Titans punter Brett Kern. I'm so glad we have you today because I got something we're going to talk about punting, which is driving me crazy. What they're doing more and more in college, they're trying to be cute in college, Brett. And I saw it opening weekend in college football. I forget what team it was. You still got to get 7 men on the line, but you had the snapper and the guy to his left and right. Then you had 2 more guys on each side spread out like wide receivers. You had 3 personal protectors back about 8 yards. So what this team did, they sit 2 guys on the right side and just full speed and blew up the one personal protector and blocked the punt. I'm thinking, why are we getting cute with punts? It's all throughout college. It's starting to happen a little bit in the National Football League. Why can't we just have you go back there and punt the ball with trying to be cute? Please explain.
I wish I could tell you because I see, the rollout, where punters catch it and they start rolling out. I think you go back to that Michigan game a long time ago.
Yes.
And, that punter has to roll out and, he has to catch the ball for trying to roll out. And once you roll out, you become defenseless, right? So as a punter, I signed up to punt and kick so I would not get hit. And now you're putting these kids in a position to where, hey, you're going to catch a roll out. And if you get hit, well, we're sorry, but that's just what we're going to run. Right. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm a traditionalist and, you got pump formation, but also the standard pump formation, but I also understand colleges, they're starting to get a lot of these kids from Australia. I think there's specific schools over in Australia that are teaching kids, how to punt football so they can come over to the States and get college scholarships. Right. And so it's frustrating. But you also know that the rules are anybody once the ball snapped, anybody can go downfield. It's not like the NFL where the interior has to stay. The only guys that can go downfield in the NFL are your 2 gunners. Right. So everybody has to stay and protect. In college, a lot of times I think the snapper can just snap and just go. Doesn't have to protect, nothing. And so, once the ball snapped and you get all these guys to release downfield and then you get your punter to kind of roll out a little bit. Well, the next thing you know, if your punter's get off is 3.5, almost 4 seconds, you got guys waiting down there and it pretty much eliminates anything of a return. Right.
Yeah.
So I think there's really not a lot of punters out there in college that can go back there and hit you 50-yard punt with 4.8, 4.9 second hang time like some of these guys in the pros can do. And so a lot of them are still inconsistent. The ball can kind of go all over the place. You don't know where it's going. And so a way to combat that is, hey, you know what? You snap it, you're going to roll out, you're going to take up some time, let our coverage team get down there and punt it. And whatever happens, happens. But at least we know we have 5, 6 guys that are already down there, within 10 yards of this returner to go make a tackle. So, And that's why you see a lot of guys sometimes from college, when they come to pros, all of a sudden they get in these, the pro dance, for, where you kick sliding and all this kind of stuff. And the guys are like, well, wait a second, we didn't do this in college.
Right.
Like, all right, you didn't. Like, this is the NFL. This is how we protect. And so a lot of them, some of them can pick it up right away. And some of them really struggle with it. And so sometimes you can see that. And I know a lot of special teams coordinators, they'll go out there and say, hey, this guy struggled in college. He never had to do it. This is his rookie year. We're going to run this rush at this guy. Right. And then, and then usually sometimes it works out and other times, bad things happen. You're just trying to take advantage of a matchup.
We're talking to former Titans punter Brett Kern on the Chase and Big Joe show. I saw Ryan Stonehouse walk over the sidelines, Brett, holding up 6 fingers. He kept holding them up. What does that mean?
Well, my guess is he probably just saw that it was a 6-man box. And usually anytime you're in a 6-man box, it's, there's usually not a rush. And if there is a rush, like I said, it's 1 or 2 guys that are just kind of forcing the punt, right? And so he was probably thinking to himself, it was a 6-man box and this thing got blocked. Like, what is happening, right?
Okay.
If you get an 8-man box, kind of like Chicago, and they run, a twist, shove loop, they're running a scheme like you normally had for a rush, that's kind of understandable. But to come off and be like, hey, coach, this is a 6-man box. Like, you got to be kidding me, right? And then there was really only 5 guys in the box. So really, Stoney only should have been holding up one hand. It's just extremely, extremely unfortunate. And it's something that's it's got to get cleaned up.
I'd have been holding up 1 finger. All right. So you've been over there, Brett, you've been over that facility when things don't start well and go well. I mean, what's the mood today when people walk in over there?
I mean, honestly, it's just hard because you're so close, right? I mean, it's just, you're playing well. Defense is playing unbelievable. I think the offense is playing well. It's just, there's just some mistakes by Will that you just can't have, right? And I think the frustrating part is, I think in his DNA, it's I need to make a play, which is something that you want to have, right? I mean, if you look at probably some of the best athletes, it's in that DNA, right? That wanting to make a play. I think the frustrating part is understanding, like, Will, like, this is the ball that you have in your hands is representing this franchise. It's representing the people of the city, the fans. Like, it's not something that you can just underhand scoop to somebody on a backwards lateral. Especially when the play is designed, Boyd's out in the flat. And I think Josh Wiley does a clear out route. And if he passes it to Boyd, there's a chance with Wiley blocking ahead of him that, Boyd might have scored, right? And so there were a couple other plays where, you just on 3rd down on that last drive, like, Pollard is 1-on-1. And he looks at him, you dump it off to him in the flat. Now, does he beat Quincy Williams? I don't know. But instead of it being 4th and 14, or, 4th and goal on the 14, right? Maybe it's 4th and goal on the 5. It's little things like that are just like, oh man. And does that come with growing pains? Like, is that something that gets better throughout the season? Or is it something that just kind of continues? And I think you'll have your answer here, and I know a lot of people want to say, hey, look, like, get rid of them, sell. But
right.
Is that something that he can overcome? And I see yesterday throwing that deep ball to Ridley that somehow got through, Sauce and, whoever the other defender was, a safety, it got through both of them somehow.
Yeah.
Right. And so, like I was talking last week, is that play where it's like, hey, see, coach, see what we just did, right? Because, you threw a deep ball earlier to Burks and it got intercepted when you had Calvin Ridley on the under route, right, against Sauce that I think he had a beat pretty good. That probably could have been a 30, 40-yard gain, right? So there's just little things. And then, he's scrambling on 3rd and 1 on a drive and runs for 21 yards to keep the drive going, right? He has that drive or that scramble, in the 4th quarter on the last drive that I thought he was getting sacked. I'm like, yeah, this is done. And next thing you know, he's running, for 15 more yards. And you're thinking, man, like, okay, like here are signs. Like, I like it, but then you have other signs that you're like, gosh, dang, man. Okay, well, we kind of can't have this, from our starting quarterback. So I know there's reaction. People on Mondays want to fire him, want to get rid of him, sell him, everything like that. But I mean, really, you're at this point where if you put in Mason, what does that get you? It doesn't really get you anywhere, right?
True.
He's a good backup, but is he the future of this franchise? Will has a lot better chance of being the franchise quarterback, but how long do you give him to mature and try to get rid of some of these mistakes that are, putting your ball team not in the best position.
So your message to Titans fans and all this is like deep breath. We'll see what happens on Sunday, just one game at a time. I know that's cliche, but it's really true.
Yeah, I mean, you take one game. I mean, like I said, I mean, like, what are you going to go do? Who are you going to go get? What are you going to go? What's your solution, right? Because, like I said, Mason's not the future. He's a good backup quarterback, right? He could probably go in there and win you a couple games, but that's not what you want, right? For me, it's like, hey, Will's close. Are there some of these mistakes that he can correct? Are there some of these mistakes that he can go out and fix, right? Or is it just in his blood to go out and try to make a play? And it's like, hey, you know what? This is what we have with Will. This is what's going to happen. Do we have play calling that can maybe help him along the way? I don't know, because there were some drives yesterday that were very well balanced. A lot of east to west. They were in, the Jets were in man, and, you got trips left, and you have Calvin on the underneath route, and there's no way Sauce can cover him. Like, there's stuff that they're doing. Like, Brian's doing a great job of play calling. And I think probably in past years, your concern was, hey, the Titans they're too predictable. They're too predictable.
Right.
Well, there were multiple drives yesterday where I was thinking, I don't know what they're going to do here. Right. And then they run a play and you're like, wow, that was, that was some good eye candy to get this guy open. Right. And so I just think it's a matter of time to see if Will can kind of get through some of these kinks mentally, as far as just making the right play and understanding, hey, look, like, it's okay. I understand you want to make this play here, but it's okay if you dump it off to Pollard, because his job also is to make people miss, right? I like my chances of Pollard in the flat one-on-one with a linebacker that I feel like he can beat. And if not, at least he's going to get tackled probably going forward and get you 5, 6, 7 yards, right? Instead of putting you in a position where you're in the pocket, you really don't know what to do. You don't want to take a sack, right? And then you flick a ball backwards and it's a fumble. So I think it's painful. Like, it's,
yeah, right.
And I've been through those painful moments. I have been through those painful moments just sitting on the sidelines and just like, okay, are the fans booing the offense? Are they booing the fact that we're punting? Like, what's going on here, right? I'm trying not to take this personal, but it's just the way it is, and it's a part of kind of his maturing process. And is it something that he can get corrected throughout the season this year?
Well, to find out real quick before you go, our illustrious producer, Dr. Crane, is a huge Mississippi State fan. So Dr. Crane, Mr. Kern, went to Toledo. He's the greatest thing to come out of Toledo since Jamie Farr. So, by the way, congrats to Toledo. And Dr. Crane, any words for our illustrious guest here?
We chatted off the air for a little bit. I asked if he went to Bulldog Burger. He said, yeah, it was a great burger. I was like, all right, good. Glad you had a good time in Starkville. Just come back, hopefully with the loss next time. I don't know what to tell him. I mean, hey, good win.
Great win.
Yeah, Toledo, and Toledo's just they love the South so much that they're playing Western Kentucky next week in Bowling Green. So we're just can't wait to go to that one too. So
another caravan trip for the Kerns.
Oh, that's great.
At least that one's closer. I mean, going to, in the middle of nowhere, Mississippi, beautiful drive, but I sure like that drive up 65. And a lot shorter too to get to Bowling Green. So.
Hey, man, brother. Hey, Brett, as always, thank you for your great insights, man. We really appreciate you. Thank you.
Y'all have a good one.
All right, Brett Kern, former Titans punter. With all that, that's a fat. I played football for so long, but I didn't really get into I was like, they're punting, who cares? But now it's become such a vital part of the game, and to have one of the best all-time punters explain the ins and outs, and the more he explained it, the more that play should not have happened yesterday. So thank you, Brett, for that. All right, we're taking a reaction to your reaction, how you're feeling emotion-wise with this Titans ball club. Levis, we are your therapy today till 11 o'clock. We're your therapy. Let us know what you want to do. 615-737-1025. This is the Chase and Big Joe Show. 1025, 1063 The Game. We are. Let's just play it just for a second. This is Brian Callahan singing to Will Levis. It really is. I go crazy when I look in your eyes. That look that Callahan gave Will Levis yesterday, we got their theme song. You guys are fantastic. We're taking Titans reaction through Yacht Rock songs. Our text line is lit up. That's I Go Crazy with Paul Davis. But first, you listen to the Chase and Big Joe show. By the way, Chase is up in New York. He's getting an award. He was approved on LinkedIn for his certificate for completing a cloud storage course that he took. So he's getting his award up there. So Dr. Crane, we have a few announcements.
Yeah, we do. You know, Nashville's best deal this week is Daddy's Dogs. Nashville's biggest and best gourmet hot dogs. Whether you're taking the office out to lunch for their next big saving or your life late night streets of Broadway, you can go bigger and better with Daddy's Dogs. Go to GameNashville.com/deals and get a $25 gift card for half price while supplies last.
All right, thank you. Your reaction on our text line 615-737-1025. Austin says, if I remember correctly, Josh Allen looked awful when he started, and people were writing him off like he was a bust. He looked just terrible. I'm not jumping to conclusions that he is not the guy. I will give him a full year before I make my decision on the guy. And you're right, Josh Allen was not very good, but they were able to build around him, and he improved, and he got better, and he didn't make stupid mistakes like flipping the ball off when you just take the sack, which I don't know if Will Levis can get that out of his system. I don't know if he could do that, so I'm not sure.
Joe, let me hold you there for a second.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, he does have some turnover issues. And that was a thing for him when he first came to the league, where he was fumbling the ball when he'd run a lot, he'd fumble, or he'd throw an interception. He still has those hiccups from time to time. And going into the draft process, Will Levis was compared to Josh Allen. I don't like those comparisons. I don't like those traits. I'm out on Josh Allen. And so with that being said, you can kind of say in a roundabout way, I'm out on Will Levis, but I'm not going to say that yet. But yeah, I'm not.
Wait, so you're out on Josh Allen?
Yeah,
don't like him?
I'm not a fan of Josh Allen, and D-Mace knows that too. I'm just not a fan of.
He's not a fan of yours either. So
Yeah.
I see.
I'm a fan of Josh Allen on the golf course, but not on the football field.
All right, you don't win Super Bowls on a golf course.
You're right.
All right, we'll take another break. We'll continue reaction on our text line 615-737-1025. Your emotions through a Yacht Rock song and how you feel about the Titans right now. Also with Will Levis, your thoughts. Are you buying or are you selling? A lot of you guys are still buying him. It's about 50-50. I thought it'd be like 90-10 of selling right now. And if you were the GM, what will you do? All the GM reactions have come in about, because you can't do Will Levis, that's not part of the GM thing, about fixing the offensive line. We want to hear from you the next hours ahead. Brought to you by the Omni Nashville Hotel. This is the People Show, the Chase and Big Joe Show, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. All right, welcome into the second hour of the Chase and Big Joe show here on 102.5, 106 for the game, brought to you by our good friends at the Omni Nashville Hotel. We'll be down at Kitchen Notes on Thursday. Stop by and see us, say hi, check out bar lines in the afternoon. The Omni Nashville Hotel downtown. Not only is it perfect, it smells perfect. I'm telling you, it's the best smelling hotel in America. It smells like the old, for those who grew up here, remember how Dillard smelled in Hickory Hollow Mall, when you on Rivergate Mall, you walk through and smell that. That's how the Omni Nashville Hotel smells. You know who does not smell that good? Tennessee Titans. Dr. Crane. They don't do that. Welcome into the show. Chase McCabe is on assignment. He's in New York City. He'll be back with us on Wednesday as well. So a lot to get to today. Your reaction. You guys, again, you're fantastic on our text line, 615-737-1025, about your reaction, a Yacht Rock song. And I believe we found the song that Brian Callahan uses Will Levis. It's I Go Crazy by Paul Davis. The line is, when I look in your eyes, I go crazy. And that's what Brian Callahan did yesterday when he looked in Will Levis's eyes. He went crazy. He was going crazy because of that. All right, so here's some reaction yesterday from Will Levis about another one of those damn flips that he does. Here's what Will Levis had to say after the game.
Not even just specifically that one individual play, but you had a punt blocked in this game. I'm just speaking on the team.
Yeah, just kind of weird. Callie came in and said the same thing. It's like deja vu. Saw it twice in a row, shooting ourselves in the foot. Not going to win football games like that. We talk heavily about winning the turnover battle, and it's something we can't do right now.
Yeah, you think so? All that. So here's Will Levis about kind of rewiring his brain, because I guarantee you, if you go back and watch Will Levis in high school, he did the same stuff. In college, he did the same stuff, and now he's doing the pros. So yes, rewiring your brain, it needs to be done. Here's his reaction when asked about it.
Yeah, it's tough, but I mean, it's everything's tough about this sport in this position, and it's just something that might not have crossed my brain in the off season. When I'm preparing mentally, I'm more so focused on the playbook and obviously watching film to see how guys are playing and running games, but I can't let that happen.
Did he not say the same thing last week?
I believe so.
Look, there's no denying that Will Levis has a cannon arm. There is no denying that he can deliver the ball down the field. And by the way, we haven't gotten to about the receivers who can't catch. Somebody's like, Tyler Boyd dropped the ball on the 2-yard line. Well, he wouldn't have scored anyway. Catch the ball and we'll figure it out together. How does that hit you in the chest? Somebody said, well, he's got people around him. He's been in the league a long time. There's always people around you who are trying to catch the ball. Just catch the ball. We're not asking you to go to the moon. We're just asking you to catch a football. That's it. Help a brother out and catch a football. That's all you got to do. So, but with Will Levis, the thing has been, just they've set you up to succeed. Don't do stuff not to succeed, and don't do that. If you take a sack, it's okay. It really is. I mean, he needs a Dr. Phil on this to sit down with him and say, it's okay if you get a sack. It's okay if you throw the ball away. It's okay. We're not asking you to win the game by yourself. You got 10 other people here. Let them help you out. But you can't do – when he flipped the ball yesterday, I was watching that with 2 other people around me, and we all looked at each other like, when there was no word spoken. It was like, what are we doing here again? You have the talent to succeed. And we've asked on the text line, you're buying or selling Will Levis. At least half you guys are still buying him, which is fine. But at some point, you got to go out and you got to produce. We can't be talking about this every Monday. We can't do this. And now you got Malik Willis coming to town. I'm telling you, the you-know-what show happens if Malik Willis comes in here and Will Levis plays bad and the Packers win? Oh, you just might as well 5 o'clock next Sunday, turn the station on for the whole week and just let people call them because people will be mad. I'm telling you right now, Dr. Crane, I've seen it. It will happen. You cannot lose this game on Sunday. You can't.
If they do, I'm just saying if, hypothetical, is that the turning point where you actually have to put Mason Rudolph in?
It depends on if Will Levis is 33 of 42 for 444 yards and 4 touchdowns and no. But if he does this again and they're not moving, if you take Will Levis out this week, if you replace him by Mason Rudolph, he's done. He's mentally done. I'm telling you. Wow, he's a big, strong kid. He's done. Because now you've been replaced by Mason Rudolph. It was not brought here to win a Super Bowl. It was brought here like if something happens to you, he's the stopgap till you come back and get it done. I don't, you can't take him out. And so watching him play yesterday was so frustrating. But here's something else further than this. Quarterback play around the National Football League, awful. I mean, Bryce, I would rather see the Western Kentucky quarterback I saw Saturday night that just took over MTSU play than Bryce Young. Bryce Young is terrible.
Yeah, you get that ship has sailed.
I mean, he is. I think he threw for 84 yards. I don't want to pull his stat up because I think my computer will not safe for work if I pull his stats up.
And honestly,
he's that bad.
It's hard to dictate if Bryce Young is that bad or if it's the offense he's in or just the system he's in. Maybe I don't know. I try to have a little bit of optimism for the guy because he was a Heisman Trophy winner, obviously under Nick Saban at Alabama. But yeah, I mean, Carolina's not great overall on all cylinders. I mean, they're just not firing on all cylinders.
Right.
So it's hard to dictate if Bryce Young is that bad.
And I love this because Bama fans get mad. Bryce Young was a product of what was around him in college. Bryce Young was 18 of 26 for 84 yards. That's less than 5 yards a pass. Hell, he could pass to himself and get better yards. That's awful. By the way, the Chargers won 26-3. It was a 5-point spread. So there was something going on there that we talked with Chase about that on Friday about betting all that goes on. So that was it. All right, on the text line, 615-737-1025. Glenn from Greenbrier says, it's hilarious seeing the Rats jump off the ship after 2 games. When this bad boy sailing through the winds, don't try and get back on. What are you, James Joyce? You a poet? Again, Glenn, it's hilarious seeing the Rats jump off the ship after 2 games. When this bad boy sailing through the winds, don't try and get back on. All right, well, let's see how that goes down the line a little bit. I'm not sure. 1652. Heaven helps the man who believes in Will Levis. Sell, 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 and keep on selling. Thank you, 1652. Our text line, 615-737-1025. We're your therapy today. We are your therapy to get you through today. Sam from the Borough. Did Levis make those same mistakes in practice? Great question. If so, that is when coaches need to teach. I'm not giving up on the Titans just yet. Now, Sam, it says Sam from the Borough. Now you're Sam from Watertown. Are we 2 personalities? If so, it's cool. Just let us know what's going on. Also, Herb from McEwen sent us 2 thumbs up emojis.
Thanks, Herb.
Herb the detective. Herb is a detective in his prior life. Because we said earlier in the show, if your name is Herb, you've been through a lot, you've seen a lot, and you're a detective who's been yelled out by your boss many times. Ed says, if you had any stat that said when teams do X, they're 45-1, the Titans would be the one. All right, Ed, thank you for this. Again, you guys are wonderful on the text line. Gary from Clarksville. In my opinion, this team is still being coached and groomed. There will be highs and lows. Unfortunately, we have 2 games that are lows. If the team shows no growth by game 5 or 6, then it'll be time for some changes. And that's what we talked about last week. Their bye week is week after week 4 into week 5. That's when you make a change if you're 0-4 with that. All right, let's go to our phone line, 615-737-1025. Will, welcome to the show, my man.
Hey, Big Joe. I just wanted to give you our QB's new name. His new name is now Will Leave Us.
Oh, that is your name, Will, too?
It is.
So he's giving Wills a bad name.
Oh, yeah. He will leave us.
Will, leave us. Tell you, are you at work right now?
I am.
Take the rep. You tell your boss that 1025 said you can take the rest of the day off for your great comment. So enjoy the rest of the day off, Will.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Will leave us.
It's clever.
That's really good. 2459 says, I know y'all are talking about the Titans right now, but what do you think about the messed up calls in the LSU South Carolina game? Listen, did you see that, Dr. Crane?
I did.
If you hit a quarterback anywhere above the shoulders, they're calling that back. Is that what we're talking about? The South Carolina guy hit Nussmeier above the shoulders?
I believe so.
And that negated the pick six or the long interception return or whatever it was. You can't there that play. You're gonna get me again. My heart rate's up, and this is not. I'm supposed to be here helping you guys, and not getting upset. That play would have not determined whether or not the guy would have scored. You did not need to hit the quarterback. You know now to leave the quarterback alone. Look, I love taking shots at quarterbacks when we all loved it, but now you can't. You can't do that. So leave the quarterback alone unless he's trying to make a tackle, then block him. I get it. But you can't go after him and hit him in the face and knock him to the ground, then act like you didn't do anything. And that's the one I'm talking about, 2459. If there's others, and I'm not sure what there is, but you can't do that. Drew says, what Nick Saban said about that team doctor from Miami after he messed up the Drew Brees prognosis. That doctor didn't know his ass from a handful of sand. I don't know if Nick Saban said that, but if he did, that's pretty fun. Thank you, Drew. Adam in Portland, Rudolph, with your arm so weak, won't you guide our team real bleak? So let's block Adam from Portland for his really bad takes. If we could do that. All right, we'll take another break. Your reaction, 615-737-1025. You guys are lining up our text line. We got a few things. Are you buying or selling on Will Levis? If you're the GM right now, what would you do with this football team? And also your reaction with a yacht rock song. Dr. Crane, take us out.
Yes, sir. Hey, join Jared Stillman and Chris Sanders and Derek Mason at John Bon Jovi's this Sunday from 9:30 to 11:30 for the pregame show. They'll break down the Titans' Week 3 matchup against the Packers and give us the latest updates before the game. The pregame show is presented by Parman Tractor and Equipment, Sundeck Nashville, and award-winning Blue Note Juke Joint and Blue Note Crossroads Bourbon.
Oh.
And you were my leading lady. We had it all, just like Bogey and the Call, starring in our own late show, sailing away to Key Largo.
This is from
Here's looking at
Mike
you.
Vrabel to Ryan Tannehill. Because didn't they have it all?
Listen all the things
They did have it all.
Play it up a little bit. Sit it out strong.
we can find it once again. How long? Just like they did in Key Largo.
Doesn't Tannehill live somewhere? Chase said he was down in Miami somewhere, so that's close
Yeah.
to Key Largo.
It's got to be.
But listen to this right here, though.
Honey, can't you remember?
Right? Vrabel talking Tannehill.
We played all the parts.
You punted wide receiver quarterback
That sweet scene of surrender.
when you gave up 3 interceptions to the Bengals.
When you gave me your heart.
You came back next year, thought you'd be strong. Come on.
Please say you will.
Stillman says you won't, right? Listen.
Play it again.
Play it again, baby. We're going to do this together right now.
Cause I love you still.
Oh, they're always together.
Maybe this can't be the end.
Everybody.
We had it all. Just like Bogey and the Call.
I think that backup singer was Caleb Williams. All right, welcome back to the Chase and Big Joe show, the People Show, 615-737-1025. Your reaction through Yacht Rock songs today, because if we sit down and think about really what's going on, we would lose our mind. We would totally lose our mind what's happening here. Here, Melda Henry has a funny one. Because I said we don't need to see a tribute video to Malik Willis on Sunday. Dr. Crane, do you agree or disagree?
Repeat that, please. I'm sorry.
We don't. What are you doing back there?
I'm listening to this clip real quick. They're talking about Will Levis. I mean, trying to get as much audio as possible for
Right.
this station here.
I forget what I was talking about. Oh, the tribute video to Malik Willis.
Oh, I hope they do it. I really hope they do it.
Do you?
I do, because
Why?
well, I don't want to see the Titans lose, but if they show that video, Malik Willis will have the career game of his life.
Hair Metal Henry says there's enough video to create a tribute to Malik. Oh, he did okay in that Chiefs game, right? On Sunday night 2 years ago.
yeah.
It wasn't great, and the Chiefs were playing terrible, but still game. I don't know, man. 7905, not important, but our fans are ridiculous. All I want is your thoughts. Was the ball underthrown, and did Burks have a step? They say it's a 50-50 ball, but it shouldn't have been. Burks gets on my nerves, but he gave that play a chance, right or wrong? I'm done talking about Treylon Burks. I'm done talking about players who really give no effort. I don't know. I don't think he wants to. Derek Mason has talked about this. You got to want to be there. And I'm not sure Treylon Burks wants to be there. I don't think he wants to be there. I see the effort. It's not there. I don't think he wants to be there. And I think the coaches know it. I think the only reason he's there is because he's a first-round draft choice.
Trying to salvage what they have of him.
Something. Put him to use. Make him carry the cables for Callahan on the sidelines. You got him. You're paying him. Make him do something. But the effort from Treylon Burks is gone. He doesn't fight for anything. How are you not fighting for your job and fighting for your team? I don't get it. Am I missing the point here?
No, I think you're spot on. I feel like this Titans organization is, like I just mentioned to you briefly, like they're trying to salvage what they had in a first round pick, because if he's turning into a first round dud, I think it's a safe thing to say now, but you move on from Treylon Burks, then you go back and look at that AJ Brown trade, because you have to look at it because that's what it was. And people are gonna be like, well, you could have had this, you could have had that. That's what people keep getting angry about. And it's unfortunate. And Mike and Lebanon, I'm gonna go to Mike and Lebanon's text real quick. Who will Amy fire if Malik wins on Sunday? I think that's a great text.
Oh, yes.
I mean, who's next?
Watch out, Rand. Oh, watch out for the knocker on your door. You get the note, come see Miss Amy. You say, no, I'm out sick today. I'll see you next week.
Could it be a combo where you get rid of Rand and then you also put Will Levis on the bench? Like, is it that type of situation?
Hold on. Look, what did A.J. Brown do? Did he pull the towel out? And
He spanked the goalpost with the towel.
if Malik Willis scores a touchdown on a scramble and spanks the goalpost, I might just die. I might just die and wherever I'm watching. I think I'm going against my brother on Sunday. I think it's our annual game together. I think he'll have to carry me back to the car. If Malik Willis scores a touchdown and he spanks the goalpost like A.J. Brown did, I'm done. Somebody's getting fired. Somebody over there, grounds crew, somebody affiliated with the Titans is getting fired. I don't know who.
I don't know either, but that'd be something else, huh?
Dylan says, truthfully, I'm going to make my decision on Willis by week 9 or 10. Well, good. They'll be 1-8 by then. You could figure it out. 8744 says, time, blah, blah, blah. The Will Levis experience in Tennessee is absolutely over. Byron, talking about Brett Kern. Was that a MASH reference? Yeah, Jamie Farr is from Toledo, and that's where Brett Kern played his college ball. That team went down and spanked Dr. Crane's SEC team, which is really embarrassing. Okay.
Thanks for letting me know, Joe. Appreciate it. That's third time already. I got it.
Oh, we got more.
Oh, I got it.
Alex from Montreal. No, I'm definitely not buying, but not selling. Stock is low, but he has this season to change my mind for the better. And I think that's what's going to happen. Cameron says, going to Rudolph is stupid. Him winning some meaningless games only hurts us going forward. The best outcome is sticking with Levis and getting a really high draft pick so we can get our actual QB. And then you're going through all this again. 7786. Will need to spend all his free time watching tape of game managers and highlights of Rodgers and Peyton taking sacks, curling up in a ball. Parker. I don't think he wants to do that. I think thinks he's like, I'm going to get through this and fight this. I'm not going to take this sack. Aaron, how about Red Hot Chili Peppers? Give it away now. That's a great song, Aaron, but it's not a yacht rock song. All right, we're taking a break right now. We're coming back to talk a little college football because our boys Willie and D-Mace will have a lot of times reaction. Of course, Jared Will starting at 2 today, so stick it right here on 102.5, the game all day long for the latest on that. We come back, college football, and I'm going to tell you why I'm worried about the Tennessee Vols. You're like, well, Joe, they're 3-0. I'm worried about your Tennessee Vols, and I will tell you why we come back. This is the People's Show brought to you by the Omni Nashville Hotel, the Chase and Big Joe Show right here, 102.5, 106.3, the game.
I know it ain't right. Don't tease me. Why don't you please me?
Pass.
Then show me what you came here for. Why don't you speak?
Yeah, we're taking to react. Keep this going for a second.
Why don't you speak
Taking reactions to the Titans loss by Yacht Rock songs.
to the night?
These are a lot of Brian Callahan to Will Levis songs. I mean, you're teasing me, right? With your great play here and there. And the other team steals away the victories. There's a solo here when you smoke a cigar and let the wind blow through your hair. Yeah. 615-737-1025. Oh, this is it. Robbie Dupree gets it here. All right, folks, turn it up.
I caught you glancing my way.
Rudolph looking at him.
And I know what you're after.
No second chances, right? Or that could be Rudolph talking to Callahan in his ear. Anyway, you guys are great. Dr. Crane, great job on that today. 615-737-1025. Get us our text line. You can call in. Of course, our guys at 11 o'clock, Willie D. Mace will have reaction. Jared will have it at 2 o'clock. Somebody wrote the text line. Where is it? It says 5353 says Jared will have Levis cut at 2:05 today. Rightfully so, man. We ask, are you buying or selling on Will Levis? And half you guys are still buying on him. And I understand that. But sometimes, the question earlier about rewiring your brain, I've got to redo that. Man, it's the same old. And so we can't do that. All right, so let's talk a little college football right now. The Tennessee Vols are now heading into Norman, Oklahoma on Saturday. It is game day's going to be there. Going to be going crazy. And look, I'm telling you what, it's going to be a lot. Tennessee's rolling, but I'm worried about the Vols, guys. I'm worried about the Vols, and it's not their fault. NC State is awful because you can only play who you can play, but you haven't been tested at all. You haven't put 3 games. I'm not saying it's Pollyanna, but you haven't been tested. And I know you got a great football team, but sometimes you need to go through the fire. Sometimes you need to be made uncomfortable to be better. And I use that in my personal life all the time because sometimes, if God never makes you uncomfortable, you'd never move. You'd sit where you are. Sometimes you can be uncomfortable. I just think they haven't been. Look, I told you my buddy went to the Chattanooga game. He said Chattanooga's the worst team ever been there. And I said, tell me about the team, Kent State, that came in here. He's like, well, I don't want to say the same things twice in a season, but Kent State was just as bad as Chattanooga. I mean, the Vols are a great football. Don't get me wrong. The defense is probably a top 3 defense in college football. I get that. But you haven't been tested. And you're going to be tested on Saturday. It's a night game in Norman. They're going to be losing their mind. Fans don't care about how Heupel and Bob Stoops hate each other. And your players don't either, right? That's 20 years ago. That's all water under the bridge. All that's happening now is what's happening on Saturday night. Your prodigal son's returning home with a damn good football team, and it's your first ever SEC home game in Oklahoma. And Hollywood scriptwriters couldn't have set this up any better. You got your boy coming home with Josh Heupel, who led you to a national championship in 2000. And he's coming home to take on his alma mater. And he's going to talk all week about there's no drama, it's the kids, but it's going to be talked about on and on and on and on. And Heupel's he's done a great, I'm going to tell you what, he's done a great job since showing up in January of 21 when half of Knox County hit the portal when he came there. Josh Heupel has done a fantastic job of turning this program around after the disaster of what was Jeremy Pruitt. All right? Awful. So, yeah, get the Orange Bowl. And yeah, expectations probably hit too high, which is fine. I take that all the time. You know, the Gold Bowl game last year, you blow out Iowa and do it. You're doing great, man. You're doing right where this team should be. But now you get Oklahoma, but you haven't been tested, which worries me. What happens when you get down 14-0 and you can't hear Nico and you're 2 feet from him? What happens when you're down 10-0? I mean, I know don't get down 10. It's easier said than done. I get all that. But I'm just worried a little bit, right? Am I the only one with this? I'm just worried a little bit because you haven't been through that fire yet. And it's going to show up Saturday night.
I wouldn't be. I mean, I'd be. I'm not worried, but as a spectator on the outside looking in, I'd have my apprehensions. I'd be apprehensive about the game. I mean, the reason
And
why
for what aspect?
From the aspect of the quarterback, Nico Iamaleava, I don't think he's going to have a big issue on the road in Oklahoma, in my opinion.
Why not?
You know, he mentioned a comment saying that he plays a lot better on the road. I'm not just dictating my whole entire preface off that, but like if you go to the NC State game, I mean, yeah, he had an interception in that game, but
Yeah.
overall he handled himself well. Like he understood that this is a big moment game. This kind of is a defining moment in the early part of our season because you already played Chattanooga. You have Kent State the following week. So now you're looking at Norman, Oklahoma, and you're at, 3-0. And you go up against an Oklahoma team that struggled against Houston of all teams. And Houston's not a solid ball club. I mean, I think they're 0-2 or 0-3 so far. And then you go look at a game like Tulane they just played. I mean, that a little bit more of a lopsided game, but still, it was still a battle.
But now it's SEC ball.
Yeah, it's a different story.
So let me tell you, a friend of mine went to the NC State game in Charlotte. He said it was 80-20 Tennessee fans. That's not a road game. Citrus Bowl was about 65-35 Vol fan. And it's no knock on Nico. It's you great Tennessee fans who travel. I think it's fantastic. And look, we want nothing more to see that Tennessee football team go to the national championship. It's great. It's great for our state. It's great for radio. It's great for everything. Just like if Vanderbilt could go all the way. We love it. But now you change of Tulane to Tennessee at home and then game day showing up, right? And everybody's going to be losing their mind Saturday night. You don't get another first game in the SEC. You don't. So will Tennessee with the only good thing for me is the Tennessee's defense is good. And I know Joe, they played Tulane, Kent State and UTC. I get all that. That's a good team. I mean, that's a good player. We saw it last year. There's a lot of good talent there. But it's going to be tough. I mean, when you get your bell rung in front of 80,000 people and things aren't going your way, it's seen it in Norman before.
Now, do I think Brent Venables has something up his sleeve on the defensive side of the ball? Sure. But I wouldn't say it's anything concerning to the point where the Vols are going to have a problem on offense. I think what you're going to see the first year that Josh Heupel was, integrated into this Tennessee, I guess, offense is that his fast pace, the fast speed of his offense. And that you saw it in the NC State game as well. And so I feel like if you're practicing that out of your out-of-conference games and you get ready for a SEC game, I think it's going to be night and day, like, difference in regards to how Nico handles the game itself. And just paint the picture for me, Joe. You mentioned the percentages of fans, Vols fans in the away game so far. Paint the picture for Oklahoma. How many Vols fans you think percentage-wise will be there?
I think they'll allow in, they give away like 5,000 tickets. I think Vol fans will travel.
You have the secondary market. You got to remember
But
that.
Oklahoma fans aren't giving those tickets up. They're not. And Caleb says, Joe, terrible take. Who has tested Oklahoma? It's not about that. For Oklahoma, it's not about that. Now they got Tennessee rolling in here. Now now it's like our SEC. There's a lot for Oklahoma for first here. Hell, game day had been there in forever, which doesn't matter anything really, but as far as getting the hype up. But the first SEC game, I'm just telling you, do I think Tennessee wins? Probably, right? But not much because they haven't been tested. Did you watch you probably did the Kent State game?
I turned it off after the first quarter. I saw it was like 30-0, I was like, all right, I don't need to see anymore.
So, and I think Heupel will do a great job getting his team prepared. And I know and don't give me that who have they played. So I understand that because it works both ways. For Tennessee, I'm playing anybody in Oklahoma. I mean, Tulane's not a bad football team.
Not at all. At what point in that game, if Tulane scores a touchdown, that's a ball game. Like there was one point, I think it was like third quarter, maybe early third quarter, if I'm not mistaken. I have to go back and look. But if they score on that drive, a field goal or touchdown, that ball game momentum is shifted
right
completely.
Yeah. Also, Tennessee fans, look up here. South Carolina is your spur, is your Achilles heel. 92. You should have beat them. And then Heath Schuler doesn't throw the ball in the end zone, and Steve Tannehill beat you. 16. That South Carolina team was terrible, and they beat you. And you had Kamara and Dobbs and everybody else on that team, and you got beat. 22. Should have never happened. And I hate that Hendon Hooker got injured. I hate that. But your football team in 22 was far better than South Carolina. Far. And for some reason, Spencer Rattler decided to be Tom Brady of college football in that one game and go crazy. It happens because they're waiting on you. They're waiting on you to come in there. There's a lot at stake for Oklahoma on Saturday night. I hope the Vols realize that, and I think they will. But I think for all of you saying it's going to be easy, it's not going to be easy. That's why we love college football. It's not. Todd and Gallatin says, Tipple, Houston, Tulane are not elite either. I know that. I get that. Put all that aside. Now it's Oklahoma, Tennessee, and they're rolling in there on a Saturday night. And if Tennessee wins big time, I'll sit here and eat my words next Monday. I think they'll win just by a little bit, but I think it's not going to be easy like you guys think. Anyway, that's my rant. All right, time for celebrity birthdays. What day is it? Somebody's asked where Chase is. I told you, Chase is in New York City. He completed his LinkedIn certificate for cloud storage. Good job on you, Chase. He'll be back on Wednesday. Let's see here. I'm a gas bag, 2485. According to this gas bag, the Vols might as well not even show up on Saturday. Did I say that? 2458, you're an absolute bonehead idiot. Nobody said that. I'm just telling you, be ready. It's not as easy as you think it's going to be on Saturday night. All right. Where are we? Break time, right?
It is.
This is the
time for
people's-
celebrities'
All
birthday.
right. Time for celebrity birthdays. Nick Keiser is going to sit in for Chase, who's gone. This is the People's Show right here on 1025, 1063 The Game, the Chase and Big Joe Show.
tonight.
We're taking your reactions all show long on the Titans loss by Yacht Rock Songs.
We could go walking through Windy
This is
Park,
Will pleading his case to Callahan.
take a drive along the beach.
Will Levis.
Stay at home and watch TV. See, it really doesn't matter much to me.
Sing it, Will. Save your job.
I'm not talking about moving in, and I don't want to change your life. There's a warm window with the stars around.
Oh, bring it home.
And I'd really love to see you tonight.
All right, well done there, Dr. Crane.
Thank you very much.
Yacht Rock songs are so much more than yacht rock. They just apply to every aspect of your life. But that was really good with that. I love your reaction. Guys, you're fantastic today. Thank you so much on our text line, 615-737-1025, about you're playing the GM, you're buying and selling on Will Levis. I'm shocked, Dr. Crane. There's a lot of buying on Will Levis. A lot of people aren't giving up on him, which I like the optimism.
You know what I think about that, Joe? I think because there's so much bad around the Will Levis situation, people are just going to just automatically go to, oh, I still believe in the guy. I still have faith in the guy. That's what everybody's doing right now. They're like, I still believe in Will Levis. There's still a little faith in there. I'm like, you know what? Everybody was out on did I say Malik Willis? I meant Will Levis. Everybody was out on Will Levis the first week, basically. And now, after all this situation is taking place, like, oh wait, no, I'll refrain. I'll be on Will Levis now. No,
okay, right.
I'm not in that bandwagon of group.
All right, well, I mean, it is what it is right now. Where's Nick Keiser? Nick Keiser's supposed to do celebrity birthdays.
He's helping out with some audio stuff. But
all right, so Adam's going to do
it. We'll fill in, yeah.
All right, Adam. Keiser lost his opportunity to play America's #1 game show. You know what opportunities? So Keiser's Wally Pipp, Adam Vingan's Joe DiMaggio. All right, but first, what day is it?
Yes, thank you, Joe. We also have here on what day is it? A long list. I'll try to get through quickly. Anne Bradstreet Day, Collect Rocks Day, International Day for Preservation of the Ozone Layer, Mayflower Day, all right, Mexican Independence Day, National Cinnamon Raisin Bread Day. Love me some cinnamon raisin bread. That is top-notch stuff. Let's see here. National Day of Prayer and Remembrance for the victims of Hurricane Katrina, obviously so.
Okay.
National Guacamole Day. Big guacamole guy. I don't know if any of you guys like guacamole.
Love guac. Can't afford it, but I love it.
I just remember that scene out of Austin Powers. He goes, guacamole, mole, guacamole.
Got it.
That's great. Let's see. We also have Step Family Day, so you got to have that there.
Bonus family.
Bonus family, excuse me. National Tattoo Story Day. So I'm always fascinated by tattoos. I've even told Vingan I'm fascinated by
You get
tattoos.
one of chasing me on your shoulder?
I can't. No, Nani does not approve tattoos, so cannot do that. National Stay Away from Seattle Day. Let's see. Trail of Tears Commemoration Day. Working Parents Day. Let's see. World Play-Doh Day. And Wrinkled Raincoat Day to finish it all off.
Okay, well done. All right, Adam Vingan sitting in for Nick Keiser, who's sitting in for Chase McCabe. You've never done this before, have you?
I have, actually, a couple of times when we did shows this summer.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was you, me, and Ian. Well, it was me versus Ian.
That's right.
And he won both times.
All right,
so
here we
I'm
go.
looking for my first win in celebrity birthdays.
Well, you get to go first.
Okay.
Our first birthday, actor Ed Begley Jr. How old is he?
Ed Begley Jr. is 68 years old.
75.
75 exactly.
Oh, man. Are you an Ed Begley Jr. fan back there?
Don't even know who he is, but yes.
Okay.
Actor Mickey Rourke.
Oh, man. He's old. 82.
He was in the movie The Wrestler, right?
He was.
Great
82.
movie. 82. I'm going to go 77.
72. Who's this handsome guy? David Copperfield's birthday today. David Copperfield.
66.
70.
68. That's a push. Guys got it in the middle right there. Well done. You're getting better at this. Who else we got here? Actress Jennifer Tilly. Oh, my goodness.
Jennifer Tilly is 58.
57.
66. Was she in Beetlejuice?
She was in Chucky. I remember her from Chucky.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
The great, talented Richard Marx. How old is he? He married a Good Pasture girl.
77.
73.
61.
We're way off to that one.
Molly Shannon. She's got a birthday, and it's not 50. She's not turning 50.
The great Molly Shannon is 54.
49.
60. Dr.
Okay.
Crane's up 2-0 here. We got a lot of birthdays. Amy Poehler's birthday is today.
Amy Poehler is 49.
52.
53. Dr. Crane's up 3-0. He's doing a Greg Maddox on you. He's not doing a lot pretty. He's just doing enough to get you. Flo Rida.
Ooh, Florida. Florida is 46.
42.
45. And Adam's on the board. 3-1. Ton of birthdays today from famous people that we know of. Going down here. Don't know who that is. Nick Jonas.
Nick Jonas. Nick Jonas is 37.
34.
32. Dr. Crane's up 4-1. We'll get a good roll here. David Bellamy of the Bellamy Brothers.
Oh, man, I have no idea. 65.
69.
74. Country singer Terry McBride of McBride and the Ride.
69.
77.
66. J-Lo's ex-husband, Mark Anthony.
Ooh. 59.
56.
56 exactly.
Oh, man.
6-1, Dr. Crane. Come on now. Adam's new here. Don't do this to him.
I should be better.
Hold on. I got some more here. We're not going anywhere. All right. Sports now. Robin Yount, the greatest Milwaukee Brewer player of all time. Robin Yount.
70.
83.
69. 6-2. Adam's within striking distance. The greatest one-year pitcher of all time in 1988, Oral Hershiser with the Dodgers. How old is Oral Hershiser?
66.
72.
65. Adams within striking range, Dr. Crane. 2 more. The great base stealer, Montreal Expo, Tim Raines.
62.
67.
64. It's now 6-4, and it's come down to the last one. Adam Vingan can tie here, which in soccer means nil, right? No?
You get a point each.
Whatever it
Yeah,
is.
whatever.
I don't know soccer.
Ties are for losers, but I'll go for the best. I'll do the best I can.
Golfer Bryson DeChambeau.
Bryson DeChambeau is 34.
This is tough. Yeah, I think Adam might be near that number. I'm going 33.
He is 31. Dr. Crane, you win 7-4.
Thank you.
There you go.
A late push.
That's good. We'll take it, Adam. Well done. Dr. Crane, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the response to the text line, even though we disagree with a lot of you, but thank you for calling in and texting. We love support. Stick around. Willie D. Mace next. Stillman will be here at 2 o'clock. As we close every show, every day that we do this, we tell our guys out there that we love you. And if you're struggling, please talk to someone. You can call 988 on your cell phone. Talk to your friend. Talk to your buddy. Talk to your past. Talk to somebody before you do anything. As we always say, God has you on this earth for a specific purpose, and the journey is yours. And it's a beautiful journey, and I want you to know that and know that you're tremendously loved. And if something happened to you, you'd be tremendously missed. We need to see you back here tomorrow, guys. All right, have a great day. Willie D. Mace and Adam Vingan next.